And to continue shedding light on the magnificent, glorious event which took place yesterday, the Golden Grand Parade of the 22 mummies which were transferred from the iconic Tahrir Square Museum to the new museum, the National Egyptian Museum of Civilization in Al-Fustat in Old Cairo. We are very much delighted to have with us via phone Ms Mai Sayeed, our tour guide. Thank you very much for being with us, ma'am. Hello?
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, dear. And I should say first, congratulations, because every Egyptian should be congratulated on the magnificent event which took place yesterday. First, how have you seen the event as a tour guide, and you had all your career diving into the Egyptian civilization?
Well, it was fascinating, and it absolutely suits Egypt.
Yeah.
So all the details with the music, with Hisham Nazi and the composer, and Nader Abbasi, the maestro, all the details, every single actor and actress attended the event. All the mummies moving from Tahrir Square to start the Cultural Museum. It was great, and it was like breathtaking.
Yep.
And back in ancient Egypt, they defined eternity as not to be forgotten. Mm-hmm. And I think that the modern Egyptians yesterday have achieved eternity to the ancient Egyptians exactly as they dreamed of.
Yeah. You know, when His Excellency Dr. Khalid Al-Alani, Minister of Tourism and Antiquities, addressed the ceremony, he said the very famous question which was asked, why those 22 mummies were not transferred to the gym and they are transferred to Al-Fustat Museum or the National Museum of Egyptian Civilization. And he said that the display there is totally dedicated to these mummies, and we should have a lot of museums scattered all over Egypt and particularly in the capital. How do you see renovating the old museums and constructing or building new museums to attract more visitors, whether from Egypt or from the whole world?
Well, we are finding new discoveries every single day in Egypt. Egypt is very rich. So having a new museum now and then, like, it's very, very important to put every single piece we found every day. Mm-hmm. And for the Cultural Museum and for moving the mummies over there, it's going to be also educational. It's not going to be only for attending and seeing the mummies, but it will educate every single visitor to see this museum about the process itself, about the mummification, about the history of each mummy, about every mummy, how it was found and where it was found, and all the scanning we've done for all these mummies and the history of their diseases and of their life, whether they were killed or whether they died naturally. So it will be an amazing for a tourist or for an Egyptian visitor to learn more about the great ancient Egyptian culture. Having a museum like the National Cultural Museum is something we should be so proud of. The Grand Museum also something we should be so proud of, having King Tutankhamun's collection in display. And even the museum in Tahrir Square, which is the oldest since 1902, it will be an important museum as well, and it will stay as an important museum for many visitors to see. So Egypt, that suits Egypt actually. That's how Egypt should be. In one event, we proved to the whole world how great the ancient Egyptians and the modern Egyptians are.
Ms. Saeed, have you yourself learned more about those 22 mummies, as you may spend a whole day in the new or the National Egyptian Museum of Civilization speaking about those mummies in specific to your groups? Did we know more data or more detailed information about those 22 mummies after the transfer?
Well, it's like endless talking about those mummies. But if we are talking about a single mummy, like Hatshepsut mummy, for example, And we are talking about her, how for a very long time we didn't knew the mummy of Queen Hatshepsut. And recently, a few years ago, in 2005, we discovered a tooth in a box, and we DNA'd the mummies that we were doubting that whether it is Hatshepsut or not, and we found the real mummy, which moved yesterday to the National Cultural Museum. Thutmose III and Ramesses, all the beautiful history behind the great people who learn mummification process to achieve eternity, and they actually did.
Yeah. Yesterday it was a free propaganda, if we may say, to the Egyptian civilization, and how it's really eternal and is going to amaze the whole world for endless years to come. How do you see the live broadcasting of this ceremony and its impact on the numbers of tourists who are going to visit Egypt, inshallah? And this is only a message, this is only a brief idea if we are going to speak about our ancient civilization.
Well, absolutely, it is such an important event for everyone thinking to visit Egypt or fascinated about the ancient Egyptian culture. And even if someone who's not thinking to visit Egypt after this important and magnificent ceremony, I think they will consider visiting Egypt as a very important destination. And coming to Egypt after it was all mostly targeting the pyramids, Tutankhamun's collection, what happened yesterday made every single person coming to Egypt thinking to visit the mummies and to know more about their history. So it is very important, very effective, and very positive effect on the tourism in Egypt.
Mrs. Saeed, how have you received the news that the UNESCO director is here and attended the huge event, in addition to the UN WTO director was also here, and they both really expressed their admiration and they hailed the endless efforts of Egypt to present the Egyptian civilization to the world, maybe as a gift to the humanity heritage in general.
It is absolutely a gift to humanity heritage in general, and Egypt was part of the UNESCO. UNESCO considered Egypt as part of the human heritage with all the treasures Egypt has since the 70s. And the Cultural Museum was funded by the UNESCO. And it is a great honor for any, let's say, an institution or for the UNESCO itself and for Egypt to help for preserving the beautiful human heritage, such as the mummies or any other piece or any other major discovery found from day to day.
Well, Mrs. Mai Sayeed, our tour guide, thank you very much for your input, ma'am, and have a very good day. All those behind the camera and in front of the camera, behind the story of success which took place yesterday, were Egyptians. They were groups who were working for even years, not to achieve, say, a tip of a hat for everyone, for all those who achieved this and introduced this wonderful image and this wonderful scene to the whole world. Well, by this we come to the end of this special episode of our breakfast show. You were in the company of my dear colleague Amal Mukhtar and myself, Nirmina Abdurrahman. Many thanks for watching. Stay tuned on Nile TV International, always for more updates, and for more details, please log on to www.nileinternational.net. Many thanks for watching.